Big deals are coming. That was the theme of my Q3 report. We are a tech company in Malmö and quite exciting for us right now. We're solving big problems, as you will hear about. And the fact that we are starting to see clear signs and we have started also to get some big deals is really encouraging. I'm going to do something which I've done a few times before, but very seldom 3 times in a row. I'm going to do a pecha-kucha, a Japanese format where I have 20 images, 20 seconds each, but I'm going to do it times 3. So it's going to be 60 images. So yes, fast news seatbelts is going to be quite a fast ride. 3 pecha-kuchas. You could relate to that. This is the corporate structure. I'm the CEO of the whole group, 21 employees, and we have 2 subsidiaries solving the problems of digital payments and as well as how you interact with consumer electronics in the future. And what I'm going to try to do is to sort of answer 3 questions. In the digital payment area is sort of why on earth have we made ourselves dependent on the net when we pay? It's not a good idea. How can a computer understand gestures? It's a machine we're talking about. And then this classical question at an event like this, why on earth would you like to invest in a company like Crunchfish? So let's go. First area. So why are we dependent on the net when we pay? And we are. There are so many different sort of payment services out there. But one thing they have in common, which is sort of, in my opinion, their weakness, is they're all very much dependent on the net. You need internet connectivity to sort of use it, and that is a problem. What we address and what we solve in Crunchfish is that we allow offline payments where you don't have to have internet connectivity, not as the payer and not as the receiver either. It can be made in a complete offline mode. The way we go to market is that it's not yet another payment service, but we go to market by augmenting payment services. Augmenting is sort of in Swedish förstärka. We make other payment services better. And we have this bold ambition that we're gonna be something for all payment services to take really a leadership position in the world when it comes to digital payments. So what we solve for is this lack of connectivity. You don't have connectivity, it should work anyway. As a user, you shouldn't have to care. But it can also be banks. The banking servers could be down, and our payment service work regardless. So either they are offline in the back end, or you as a user or as a payer is offline. This could be used in a P2M scenario, sort of person to merchant scenario. And we sort of would enable that sort of scenario when you pay in a shop, as this example is here from India. This can also be used as we are paying sort of P2P, as they say in the industry, and that is peer-to-peer or person-to-person. This is can be done here, and this tuk-tuk scenario when you pay for your ride to this guy, but we can also sort of pay remotely P2P. And then the last sort of area that I also like to sort of talk about is that the banks can be offline. And typically, if you know, in Sweden, where we don't have too much cash anymore, if the banks are down, particularly Swedbank, who take care of a lot of the payments from the trade in Sweden, if they're down, Sweden has a huge problem. So we need liquidity in the market, even if the banks are down. If we look at what sort of different types of payment rails are there, well, there is good old cash. 100 years ago, central banks started sort of give out cash before it was banks as well. We go up to cards, also legacy system, 50 years old maybe. The last 10, 15 years has been instant payment, more a modern thing. You pay from account to account, and then crypto. So if I list them here, the 2 first one, they are account-based. It's the banks that guarantee sort of money. Crypto is guaranteed by a blockchain only, and then you have cash, where the central bank is guaranteeing it. The 3 top ones are digital and online, and it's cash, the only one who is sort of analog and offline. Central banks are now looking into introducing something called CBDC, central bank digital currency. And here they are struggling to understand really how they're going to design this sort of system. We believe our digital cash is a perfect solution for this, solving this critical problem of double spending. We just recently got a Nigeria letter. It was truly an email from Nigeria, and we got a bit suspicious. But it was from the central bank, who have come really far with their implementation of CBDC. And they obviously they need offline. They have realized that. So we will be now in a trial for being offline component in their solution. Another African focus we've done is that we go into a mobile telecom partnership, delivering service connectivity. In Africa, only 30% of the Africans have internet, so they really need the offline component. And that's what we are delivering into this sort of partnership that we're doing for Africa. This is the project we've been working with since September or August, I would say. HDFC, the biggest commercial bank in India, they are number 10 in the world, working together here with the Reserve Bank of India to really change sort of how payments can be done in India by introducing this offline layer. Huge focus for us, and we're working. And we're going to go live in a pilot in mid-December, just in a couple of weeks. Focus has been in India since a few years back. Southeast Asia is interesting for us as well, a lot of people there, and as well Africa now. So that's where we are focusing in our digital cash efforts really into this market. What we do in order to deliver this offline component is that we always chop up the payments into 3 steps. Reserve, so you take out money from the banking system, so there's money somewhere else outside the bank. Then we pay, which is an agreement between 2 people that something has been transferred. And then we settle as a separate step, and that is when money is moved between accounts. Our solution is a complement, as I said, to any payment service. And we do that by introducing layers here. There could be one layer we call digital cash online, and then you can actually sign out transactions from online. We have digital cash offline, where you can have it on a mobile phone, and we can even have it on non-mobile devices like cards or wearables. The key component making sure that this can be sort of trusted is that we have a software-based secure element. So we have developed a trusted application within a secure environment. And that's what we can have on a smartphone. That is the bridge between the backend and even then these cards and variables. Here you can see a little bit the architecture for CBDC, central bank digital currency. In the back, the banks guaranteeing it, getting money out to banks who can have that CBDC on online accounts. We can get it down to mobiles and to cards, and we can pay in an offline mode, which is needed for CBDC to really work. Our solution has been, our first version of our solution is that we pay in proximity. That means that you pay to someone who are close to you, face to face. So you sign out a transaction, you give it to the merchant, both have the transaction available, either party can upload it, and then money gets moved between your account and the receiver's account. Very recently, only a few weeks ago, we introduced 1.3, which is a huge step forward, because now we don't have to onboard the receiver. We can pay to anyone who is onboarded sort of in a national, say, payment scheme. So we can now introduce paying offline to anyone, anywhere, and we do that by using the telecom network. We've recently also announced that we are now developing some sort of turnkey solution, a whole package that banks can just plug in to sort of their payment systems. So we have the entire package for the market with the backend and our solution using telecom and everything. And I think that will be a winner for us to roll it out. Next area. How can a computer understand gestures? That's really quite magical, really. It's a machine we're talking about, and we're asking it to understand body language and, you know, even sign language or whatever we do. Well, the way it's done is that we teach a computer to see. We really train it. We don't program anything, but we expose it for millions of annotated pictures, millions and millions. And in the computer itself figures out, because these pictures are annotated, what is a hand and what is all these joints of a hand or whatever. So we're creating this system where we can supply an extremely intuitive interaction system. In the future, we won't have really screens that much. We will use sort of smart glasses. And we can use this sort of technology as well within, say, a car environment. And I'll come back to these use cases. So what we do, we can have a static pose, you know, hand. We call this the pinch. That we can track. We can also move it around. And then we have the third version here, where we have a whole skeleton, where a hand is typically made up of 21 points, 1 in the middle, and then 4 for each finger. So let me go into this magic a little bit more. We have a camera feed, takes in information. our sort of work, we have this engine in the middle that can output sort of what is going on and projecting this into this 21 points per hand in 3D coordinates. And if we break down the middle part here, because that is really what our team has built, from A to Z, a whole process with machine learning, with tools that can annotate to generate data automatically, because we need millions of data, and you need to generate this automatically. And we have a neural network that makes this decision. On the left here, if we zoom out a little bit, we can take in data from camera streams, but also infrared at the top there. We can detect objects like a mobile phone in a car, slow down the car if someone's holding a phone, or we can do really any pose. And then we can come up with one hand, two hands, body, and a combination between body and hand. Here's a little video here so I can slow down. It's a demo. This is, you see, it's just using a normal camera. This is a guy here at our office, really. And you can see how it changes a little bit of picture or colors here. And that is just to say, now we recognize that he's doing something which we can interpret as sort of a command. Pretty cool stuff. And that's just done with a standard mobile camera. And this technology could be, this is Lenovo, Chinese company, one of the biggest electronics company in the world. They have this in their future sort of, they're coming out next year with these sort of glasses. We get business model-wise, a small upfront license fee, and then they're going to pay us for every single manufactured unit. This is the business model here. We signed in Q3, Oppo has been our customers in 2013. They're one of the top 5 mobile manufacturers in the world. And they paid us a 500,000 upfront fee. So here we got the reverse, a big upfront, and then they can have all they can eat really with this. But they only ask for some sort of pose that they're going to use in their camera application. Looking at where we sell, we are selling into manufacturers of electronics, and that's typically China, Taiwan, Japan, and Korea. And then they sell their products all over the world. When it comes to the area of automotive, it's more in the European where they have actually companies who focus on developing application for the automotive sector. So we have automotive, where you need to keep track of the hand and body in a car, what is going on. And then we have this AR, VR, augmented reality, virtual reality, where it tends to be that we have to focus on the hands, what is going on with the hands. If we look at the automotive, the use cases that is coming there, and it's interesting for us because the regulators are demanding that the car manufacturers need to keep track of what is the driver doing, what is happening in the cockpit, and this is sort of driver monitoring system or occupant management system. You really need to monitor so you know it for safety reason. And then we can use it for a lot of entertainment stuff as well in the car. AR, VR, it could be, as you can see at the top here, this is for consumers. If you go down, it's for industrial use. And then VR, when you enclose yourself in a helmet like that, could be for education or anything. And all these things, you don't have a screen to touch. You need interaction with your hands. Consumer AR, if we take some of those examples, we have a sporting guy here who can get velocity and he gets information in his sort of glasses. The next one down is just almost like you see in a normal mobile phone. And then you have a lot of things in gaming, which will come here. Industrial use, you see this is a guy at the top there who is in a warehouse and he has both hands free and he's picking up stuff. This is a real picture from China who have face recognition, a lot of things in their camera so they can recognize people. And then this is assembly, battery factory, and how they can be used. We have our technology out in hundreds of millions devices already in the mobile and VR space with really the big names really here in the industry. And then for AR glasses, chances are if you ever buy a pair of AR glasses, it's going to be Crunchfish who has delivered a component who can do gesture interaction. So let me summarize a little bit. Why would you invest in Crunchfish? Well, I've already told you that we are getting, trickling in orders, and we're waiting for even more things happening. We have a massive market, just enormous. And I want to highlight also what I also think is very important. One is that we have technology that we have IP for, intellectual property. We have since 2012, we started to do a lot of patenting. So we have 42 unique innovations in our company, whereas 31 is already granted patents, mostly in digital cash area, but we also have in the gesture area. We're going to clean up this area a little bit here, but it's still going to be a very strong position. We're just now in December. That's another good thing of us. We have a strong financial position. It's going to be about 23 million we're going to get in December when we have a conversion of a warrant program. But we also got someone in this African partnership who want to buy 3 million shares of Crunchfish within 3 months, and that's going to fill up our cash reserves as well. Another thing I really want to say is, yes, our ability in Crunchfish to always adapt to the circumstances. We're working in extremely fast-moving industries, and you need to be adaptable. Darwin said it, survival of the fittest. The one who can change the most or follow it are the winners. And I think we have proven ourselves, and that's why we use Darwin really as a theme for this year's annual reports. We are very open. If you really want to follow us, you can go to we have 22 webinars from the first half year. Johan Wester as our moderator in the area of digital cash, gesture, as well as overall in Crunchfish. So it's all there on the web, you can see. We've done, this was last year, we did 55 1 hour sort of, or half hour long, some took 1 hour, interviews. Here's our fantastic founder, Paul, that I interviewed, and we provide a lot of insights. And I think these are still good to see, actually. So if you want to immerse yourself and don't have any spare time, so watch the interviews. On our website, we have a news engine. I want to also say, you can subscribe to our news, and it's great. You can filter on anything. You can have search words, and you can look at in chronological order. It's a good, really, engine for finding news about us, really. And we put most of the things which are going on here. We're proud also with Västra Hamnen, who is organizing this event, that since 2019 they do commission analysis. They do a great job. This came out after our Q3 report, and they're a bit witty. Fishing for bigger deals. It's sort of a nice title. I liked it. And they're talking about that we actually became EBITDA positive by just this $500,000 order from Oppo. We're very committed ourselves. I'm sort of a CEO behind Femari. We have our chairman is behind Core Spring Invest, Paul Kronholm, our founder. And we just actually today announced that we did a warrant program for our personnel to 2026. And it was a massive sort of uptake of that. So I'm really happy. We believe in this ourselves. We've been on the stock market since 2016, 11th of November. And we were hugely oversubscribed. We had 1 million shares for the public, but they asked for 29 million shares. So we were oversubscribed by 500 million krona. And it's been a ride. I think you can see we're almost like sort of EKG for the heart. You can see that. And then I don't know, we had some excitement there back in 2021 where we had a big Eiffel Tower there. I'd like to talk a little bit of what happened really. How could we have all these sort of spikes? So in the next slide here, I'm going to fill it in. The IPO was at 15, and we had, you know, in the middle there we got Swish. We went from 3 to 30 when people got, oh wow, Swish, that's great. Integrated with Swish, and it increased. But what happened with that Eiffel Tower there, we had a lot of news coming, but there were also people buying turbo warrants, creating turbo warrants out of Crunchfish. And then they bought a lot of shares, and then they sold it quickly. It created a lot of artificial sort of hype there. If I zoom in on the last sort of couple of, the last 2 years here, you can see at the end there's a lot of news coming. And it's starting to be a little bit of a spike here as well. But you haven't lost it. If you can still jump on the train. We're not far above really the price we had in 2016 when we launched. Very active forum. I love the guys on Discord. I sometimes write there myself. This was last week. We had a fantastic week, and I ended up that today we're going to publish a Nigeria letter, and that was this news from Nigeria. And then Crunchfish. Well, I've been saying we're starting to see very clear signs, and we got the Oppo deal, and there's more coming. Big deals are coming. we are working in what is a gigantic market. I would argue that there is no bigger machine than digital payments in the world, and we augment everything there by introducing this layer of offline payments. Extremely scalable. We just needed $500,000 order and we were EBITDA positive. And then if you add to that, we have a world-class patent portfolio. We have a very strong financial position given that we're getting this sort of money. And you know, our team, very curious, very creative, and very caring. Delivering sort of a great company. So I think we sort of have the ducks in a row. If I have something else swimming in the water than the fish, but all ducks in a row. That's I think why you really want to get involved with Crunchfish. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Joachim, for your presentation and for joining us here today.
Thank you.
I have to say it was really fast-paced, but I guess it's a good reflection of Crunchfish and the tech business. You have a lot going on. We can feel it bubbling, not really boiling yet, but for sure bubbling. Could you tell us what are you most excited about and what should the investors be most excited about?
Oh, I think what we're doing in the digital cash area, the largest bank in India. India is the largest real-time payment market in the world. They're 3 times bigger than number 2, which is China, and we have the central bank following our project. This is potentially going to be an ecosystem innovation for India. That is exciting. They're starting the pilot here with this mid-December. I think that's that makes me excited.
For sure. You scratched the surface a little bit here about your business model, but could you go a little bit deeper how it actually works?
Yeah, well, it typically would be some sort of licensing component that could be upfront for the whole period, but a yearly component that you buy a certain volume, and you get support and upgrades and so on. And then there will be some, you pay per something. For digital cash offline, you would typically pay per user and app. If you have an app and how many users you have, you pay for that. If this is a digital cash online, it will probably be related to a number of transactions. Same thing for gesture. You pay per manufactured unit, a royalty payment for that. But they would also typically have some sort of fixed component, and then on top you pay per unit really of something.
If you manage to implement the digital cash solution across India, Africa, or other parts of the world, how easy or hard is it for you to monetize this and turn a market opportunity into a market share?
I think that would be very easy because we are sort of a little bit swimming here, in a blue ocean. There's not many who do it the way we've done. Everybody comes up with yet another payment service. So it's very much red ocean, hard competition. But we have a component that if we break it here with HDFC, what we do now in Nigeria for the CBDC market, if we do that, I think we will become something that, yes, you as a user, you don't have to care if you are online or offline. It will work anyway. It will just sort itself out. That will be a very important thing to have. And we can then charge per user, and that will be a lot of money. Yeah.
I think we have gotten a question from the public. Adam, take it away.
Yes, so we have a question that reads, is Crunchfish active in the Jamaica's digital cash project? And the follow-up question is, what's the status of Jamaica?
Yeah, good question. Yeah, we have a partnership with a CBDC-oriented company, eCurrency, that won the project with Bank of Jamaica. We are their partner. They haven't yet come all the way to offline payments. So very many, yes, like in Nigeria as well, they start with an online payment system because that's what everybody knows. So they build that first. Then they want to add offline, but they haven't done it yet. But we are monitoring it. We will actually, and now I'll break something which it's not a news that will, it's a normal news, but we have signed up in Jamaica actually an agent who will work for us for Jamaica, for commercial bank or driving it to commercial banks, to the Caribbeans, and then I think he will have some focus on Latin as well. And we will probably make an announcement quite soon. He's a great guy, Maurice. You will soon see him. Come from a company called Money Square in Jamaica. What was the other question? What was the 2 questions? Was that both?
Yeah, so the follow-up question was just what's the status in
Jamaica? The status is that we are in a waiting mode for the Bank of Jamaica to actually introduce offline payments into their project. It hasn't happened yet.
All right, we're running out of time, Joachim. Maybe a bit trivial for my last question, but where will Crunchfish be in 10 years? What is the end goal for you?
I don't know. That was a big question. Yeah. No, but we seriously think we can take, within payments, we can take a global position here. We are that small little Malmö company who is not shy, and we will just go in and actually take a really cool position, which is useful for central banks, for Visa, MasterCard, for anyone really. And that's going to be a huge position to take. And we're also strong in this interaction area. Yeah, as I said, that is sort of everywhere. So we are a deep tech company delivering sort of something which is really needed to solve some of the biggest problem that we are currently facing. Interacting with hands when we don't have screens, and payments without having to worry if you're online or not.
Thank you, Joachim. Och med de orden säger vi tack så mycket Crunchfish